where God is glorified and the people of God edified.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed on this show are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production of Glory 93.9 FM.
Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madera Street.
Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women.
Wardrobe provided by Bahari Bahamas. Visit shopbahari.com. And good morning, everyone. Welcome to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. I am your host, Michelle Malcolm. As always, it's a pleasure to be in your company today. Thank you so much for joining me. So, you know the drill. Today's Wednesday. We're going to do a Wellness Wednesday show. And disclaimer, some of you are really not going to like me after the show. You're going to be a little annoyed at me for the message I'm bringing today. But hey, it is what it is. Don't shoot the messenger. All right? I'm going to bring you the truth. Like I said, the truth has a new home. Now, what you do with that truth, that's on you. But I'm going to bring you the truth. And I promise you, you're going to hear some things today that are going to surprise you. You're going to be like, what? Who knew? Today, we are talking about the 12 bad foods that you should never eat. 12 bad foods that you should never, ever eat. Not the 12 bad foods that you should only eat occasionally. Not the 12 bad foods that you should eat in moderation. Not the 12 bad foods that you could, every now and again indulge in. No. The 12 bad foods that you should never eat. And what I'm going to do today, I brought reinforcements today because I've said these things on this show and a lot of y'all still thinking, yeah, Michelle, whatever. But I'm going to play a series of clips today that are going to give you details about why these foods are bad for you and what these foods are doing to your body. And maybe after you hear all of what you're going to hear today, you're going to reconsider eating these foods. These foods, point blank, are bad for the human body. Point blank. They're just bad for the human body. And if you eat these foods, honestly, it's just a matter of time until the net negative effects of the foods that you eat, these 12 bad foods, that they will build up in your body. And it's only a matter of time before something breaks. So it's, in essence, very much like the straw that broke the camel's back. You may have been eating some of these foods for years, thinking, it's not doing me anything, but it's piling up, slowly but surely piling up. And then you just put one more straw and crack, it breaks. So, yeah, if you are unwittingly consuming these foods that are hurting your body every single day, I'm not trying to be the prophet of doom. I'm just bringing you the truth. It's only a matter of time until something goes wrong. Until you are told, I'm sorry, but you have pre-diabetes, or you have a heart condition, or you have whatever it is. So we're not talking about eating these foods in moderation. We're not talking about dabbling in them every now and again, whatever. You have to completely eliminate these foods from your diet. And disclaimer, some of these foods are going to shock you. Some of the things on this list are going to shock you. But again, I brought reinforcements today so you could understand, once you see these videos, why these foods are so bad for your body. So like and share this show. Make sure everybody knows that they need to tune into this show today, because we all have a loved one or a friend or a colleague or ourselves who are suffering from some kind of condition. We all know somebody, right? Especially in this Bahamas, which is a very, very sick nation. We all know someone who is battling a chronic condition. And it could very well be that they are eating foods that are contributing to their condition. So we're going to talk about that today. And if you have a question or a comment, put your comments on Facebook. Those of you who are going to be watching on Facebook, or give us a call at 828-2543. 828-2543 is the number to call. And 828-2543 is a text line. 828-2543 is a text line, and the number to call is 828-3543. 828-3543. So let's dive right into this. You've heard me talk about it time and time again, and that is gluten. Wheat, barley, rye, and oats. Why are these foods bad for you? I can hear it now. Michelle, what are you talking about? I've been eating oatmeal since I was a kid. Yeah. And that's adding up slowly but surely. So in this video, Dr. Peter Glidden is going to talk about why wheat, barley, rye, and oats should never be eaten. Let's go to clip number 1.
One of the biggest myths that's persistent in the popular culture of the 21st century. One of the biggest myths that's persistent in the popular culture of the 21st century is the myth of the whole grain. Wheat, barley, rye, and oats contain a protein called gluten. And gluten is bad for most human beings. Why? Because the gluten molecule is a protein made of amino acids which are daisy-chained together. And amino acids are essential nutrients. The body needs them, can't make them. Amino acids are essential for health. It's the job of your stomach to break apart the amino acids inside the gluten protein, liberating the amino acids, giving your body access to the amino acids that make up gluten. But the chemical bonds that hold the amino acids together inside of the gluten protein are very difficult, if not impossible, for your stomach acid to digest. Now, most people have weak stomach acid anyway, and this just compounds, exaggerates the factor. So most people, when they swallow wheat, barley, rye, or oats, the gluten protein becomes undigested. And instead of individual amino acids entering into the small intestine to be absorbed into the bloodstream, you get long chains of intact, connected amino acids. And when your small intestine attempts to absorb the undigested long chains of amino acids, that causes a lot of problems. The tissue in the intestinal tract, which is responsible for absorbing nutrients, becomes damaged. It's kind of like if a vacuum cleaner with a bristle brush is trying to vacuum up a string of pearls. The string of pearls is going to jam up the gears. But if the bristle vacuum attempts to suck up individual pearls on the carpet, it can do that no problem. Similar circumstance here in the small intestine, which leads to one of life's greatest ironies. Consistent consumption of whole grains will hurt you. Not only does it hurt you directly by damaging tissue in the body, but it hurts you indirectly because the tissue that it damages is responsible for absorbing nutrients. The more whole grains you eat, the less able your body is to absorb nutrients into the bloodstream. And because all chronic diseases are directly related to nutrient deficiencies, the more whole grains you eat, the more likely you are to suffer with a chronic disease. Wheat, barley, rye, and oats. Stop eating them now.
Yeah, I told you weren't going to like me after this show. You can't just eat it in moderation, people. You got to completely eliminate it from your diet. So where do we find wheat, barley, rye, and oats? Bread. Now, unless it's made with gluten-free flour, which you do have options, and you do have lots of gluten-free options in the food store, people. But bread, whether it's wheat or white bread, it's all made with wheat flour. So you want to avoid bread. You want to avoid bran. You want to avoid granola. You want to avoid pasta. Macaroni and cheese is one of our favorites. You need to cut that out. Go find a gluten-free pasta. You want to avoid beer because beer is made from barley. You want to avoid malts because they are made from barley. Anything that is made from wheat, barley, rye, or oats. Cream of wheat? No. Oatmeal? No. Not unless, and I haven't tried it. Some people say that even the ones that say that they are gluten-free oatmeal still have gluten. I don't know. But you want to go gluten-free. It's not a matter of preference. It's a matter of, I can't stress enough how important this is, because what you need to understand is, as he just so well described, what happens when you eat the gluten and it damages your intestinal lining, it causes a problem for your body, not just in your digestive tract, but all over. If you consistently eat gluten and you end up with what is called a leaky gut meaning that the apparatus has been damaged on your gut lining and things are now seeping into your bloodstream that should not be there, things like pathogens, viruses, bacteria, etc., toxins getting into your bloodstream, food particles getting into your bloodstream because the villi is damaged and things are getting in there now. So now this triggers an overall response in your body. And I want to briefly talk about some of those responses that you may be having and not even making the connection to your gut. It will affect your sinus and mouth. So now all of a sudden you start getting frequent colds. Every flu season, you're catching the flu. You start having food sensitivities. All of a sudden you're becoming very sensitive to certain foods you can't eat anymore. Okay? So it definitely will affect your sinus and your mouth. It will affect your adrenal glands. You're going to be tired all the time. You got a full night's sleep and you wake up tired. That's because of overworked adrenal glands. It's going to affect your joints. So you may end up with things like rheumatoid arthritis or regular arthritis, fibromyalgia, even headaches, all because of this leaky gut. It'll definitely impact your brain function. So now you're having depression or anxiety or ADD or ADHD, headaches, all because you like bread, because you're eating gluten consistently. Your skin will definitely be impacted. So now you can't control the breakouts. You're getting acne, you're getting eczema, rosacea, psoriasis. It will affect your immune system, your autoimmune system. So now you start developing thyroid problems. Your thyroid goes underactive or overactive. It will definitely impact your colon. Why? Because, I mean, that's the first place it hits. And so you're looking at constipation or diarrhea or irritable bowel. all because of a leaky gut. So even though you may not have made the connection before, by you not being willing to give up that tart, not willing to give up that bread, not willing to give up that macaroni and cheese, and I'm talking again the traditional, because there are options out there. You can find gluten-free pasta. You can find gluten-free flour to make bread. You can find gluten-free cookies, gluten-free crackers, gluten-free just about everything in the food store nowadays. Okay, so you do have options. But if you are one of those people who thinks, oh yeah, whatever, and you keep eating this stuff, I guarantee you it's only a matter of time before something breaks. And every human body is, there are some universal laws that apply to the body, but everybody is different. So for you, it may not affect your sinuses, but you may have a problem with your skin. For me, it may be my thyroid. For somebody else, it could be the brain fog. For somebody else, it could be the joint pain. But all of these systems of the body are affected by this leaky gut. And one of the main causes of leaky gut is eating wheat, barley, rye, or oats. As Dr. Glidden would say, bad dog, no biscuit. So again, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, people, but you have to completely eliminate gluten from your diet. It's no just a little bit. Somebody said to me one time, they offered me something with gluten, and I said, no, thank you. Why not? I said, because I don't eat gluten. Oh, this one little bit ain't gonna hurt you? I said, yes, it will. So it's like, being a little bit pregnant. Either you are or you ain't. You can't eat a little bit of gluten and not expect to be harmed by it. Okay? So again, it's on you. All I doing is bringing you the knowledge today. What you do with it, that on you. But don't shoot the messenger because you don't like the message. Because there's going to be more that you're not going to like in this show today. But my goal today is to bring you information. And then you have no excuse as to why you don't do something with that information. If you choose not to do it, that's on you. I'm not trying to force anything on anybody. I'm just bringing you the knowledge. Okay? But if you continue to eat gluten, I guarantee you, you are asking for problems. It's only a matter of time. Let's go to a couple of your comments. Let's see. Stacy, Lord, Stacy. Stacy said, this is tough. Yeah, Stacy. But it is what it is. You have options. I ain't missing nothing. I can make gluten-free flour, and everything what I would have made with flour before, I make with that, and it's delicious. You can't tell the difference. And I am not having all the digestive issues I was having when I was eating gluten. So, let's see. Stacy also said, but I was told wheat bread was the best. Oh, sweet girl, don't listen to them, yeah? They're trying to set you up. Wheat bread, white bread, anything made from wheat flour is bad. And white bread only means the flour was bleached. It's still wheat. Okay? Whole grains are bad. You do not want to do whole grains. You do not. It just, your body can't digest it. It just can't. And it will do the damage. Let's see. Stacy again says, I love cream of wheat and cornmeal. Well, Stacy, you got to decide what you love more, the cream of wheat or your health. Bottom line, it's just a matter of priorities. Which one you love more? I love guava duff, but I don't like it enough to make me feel sick. Because nothing tastes as good as I feel right now. Nothing. So you have to prioritize. What do you love more, the cream of wheat or your health? Bottom line, you got to make a decision. It's Joseph Ferguson is laughing. Joseph, I know what you're laughing at. But I just being honest with y'all today, man. Don't shoot the messenger. But I just bringing y'all the real truth. So Carolyn says, doesn't that just apply to people with celiac disease? No, it does not, Carolyn. That's the point I'm trying to make here. Everyone has, whether you realize it or not, it's doing damage to your body, not just people with celiac disease. Okay. Let's see. Anastasia says, as an African descendant, our food is plantain, banana, cornmeal, rice, yuca, which we call cassava in this country, all kind of ground food. Yeah. Okay. Nothing wrong with those. Okay. Are these gluten? No. Plantain is not gluten. Gluten is wheat, barley, rye, or oats. That's where you find gluten. Wheat, barley, rye, or oats. Okay? That is what you find in gluten. Okay, so Dakota says, this is true. It has caused my thyroid problems. So now no gluten for me. Yeah, people don't realize the connection. They're having all these health issues and not realizing the connection. You need to understand something, people. Your body is like an interconnected machine. So when something goes wrong in one system of your body, you don't just zone in on that system. And this is the mistake that the MDs make. They only zone in on that symptom, that system. But it's an interconnected machine. And they are finding more and more through research that much of it begins in the gut. So when the gut is unhealthy, it triggers all of these reactions throughout your body. So you may be experiencing these health problems and not even considering that it has anything to do with your gut, but that's where it started. And this is why this is such an important conversation for us to have. This isn't just a matter of preference. It affects everybody. And like I said, you may not have celiac disease, but you may be suffering from joint pain or brain fog or tired, fatigue or skin issues or always picking up, colds and flus. All of this is related back to the health of your gut. And the number one thing that you can do to damage your gut is keep eating wheat, barley, rye, and oats. You keep that up, you are prophesying your future. You predicting your future, and that is one of illness. So you have to cut it out. You have to, like Dr. Glidden said, stop eating these foods now. I had a client the other day and I gave her this message and she wasn't happy to hear it, but she's like, so what am I supposed to do with all of this stuff I have in my cupboard? You tell me I got to throw it out? You may have spent a couple of dollars on things, but is it worth eating it just because you spend a couple of dollars if you know it's damaging your body? Help me make this make sense. Throw the things away. It's only a couple of dollars you would have lost compared to damaging your body to the point where it's going to cost you a lot more money to have to deal with that condition that you would have developed because you decided that it wasn't worth throwing away a couple. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So again, sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but you got to cut out the wheat, the barley, the rye, the oats, completely eliminated from your diet. Stacy says, I love my health and life more. I'm happy to hear that, Stacy. So make the decision to reflect that. Okay. Anastasia says, I love to bake my own bread. What flour is in the market that I can use? The one that there are several options for you. The one that I like, because some of the, now let me explain something. Some of the gluten-free flours don't have a binding agent. And so you have to add something to it in order for your recipes to bind together, because gluten binds things together. Okay. But there's a really good one on the market called Red Mills All-Purpose 1-to-1 Baking Flour. It's in a light blue bag. It ain't cheap, but it already has the binding agent added to it. So you don't have to mix it with anything else in order for your recipes to come out fine. Red Mills 1-to-1 baking flour in a light blue bag. Now, don't go buy up all now. Then when I go, I can't find mine. But that is the one that I personally use. There are others on the market. So I'm not saying that you have to use that one, but just understand that some of them you have to add a binder to it so that it will hold your recipes together. So make sure you know which one that you're buying. And you can read the labels and they'll tell you exactly what is what. Okay? All right. So we're going to take a quick break. And then when we come back, more bad news, y'all, about something that I know y'all love that you got to completely eliminate from your diet. Today on Wellness Wednesday, we're talking the 12 bad foods that you need to kick to the curb. We'll be back after this.
I call it perfection. When elegance and taste make a connection. Every single dish is a taste of heaven. For your banquet or your wedding, who you getting? HD Catering. HD Catering.
Book Heaven's Delicacy Catering today with Chef Lachey Jones and experience a taste of heaven on earth. Call 533-9621.
HD Catering.
At the Gladstone Road Farmers Market, we provide you with the freshest produce, eggs, meat, and more. But what you don't see makes a difference too, like the care our farmers put into growing and raising that food for your family, the fewer miles that food travels from the farm to your plate, and the dollars you are keeping in our local community. Our open-air market is every Friday and Saturday. Come visit us, and be sure to look for the GPS-endorsed flyer. COVID-19 has affected all of us, but it won't stop us from serving you with a smile, even under the mask. Gladstone Road Farmers Market, home of fresh. At Lee Air, safety is our #1 priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Youngevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Global Paradigm Shift on this Wellness Wednesday. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm, and today we're talking about the 12 bad foods that you should never eat. I just noticed my little container here with my vitamins. So let me move this aside. Sorry, y'all. You should never eat these foods, y'all. Never, ever, 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 ever eat these foods. So this next one, yeah, I could hear a couple of y'all cussing me right now, but it is what it is. Here in the Bahamas, like in the southern United States, we have a serious love affair with fried foods. Oh, we love up a fried food. We would fry water if we could. But oh, I hate to tell you all this, but it is what it is. That fried food is literally killing you. No joke. And in this clip from Dr. Glidden, you're going to understand exactly how that is happening. You should avoid at all cost fried foods and all oils. All oils. Let's go to clip number 2.
Oil oxidizes. If you look at an olive oil bottle, a canola oil bottle, a flaxseed bottle, any type of oil in a bottle, between the top of the oil and the top of the bottle, there's an air gap. Air contains oxygen. And as the oil sits in the bottle, it is becoming oxidized. The longer it's in the bottle, the more oxidized it becomes. And when you pour that oil onto a cooking surface, a fry pan or a wok, for instance, you heat the oil, it oxidizes within minutes. When you introduce an oxidized substance into the human body, you create inflammation. Inflammation, low levels of low-grade, constant inflammation, which, again, like the straws that broke the camel's back, add insult to injury. And it's only a matter of time until your system can't handle that anymore and something breaks. When you fry food, this process becomes accelerated remarkably. Oil heated in a fryolator creates a molecule in the food which is fried called acrylamide. So when you deep fry a piece of chicken, deep fry a potato, deep fry anything that has a protein in it, acrylamide is formed. What's wrong with acrylamide? Well, I thought you might never ask. It's carcinogenic. Now, when you look at a map of the United States, county by county of life expectancies, the people in the United States that have the shortest life expectancies live in the South, the old Confederate South. They have the same doctors, the same education, the same water, the same hospitals, the same everything that everybody else in the United States has. So why do they have the shortest life expectancies? I'll tell you why. Because in the United States, in the South, below the Mason-Dixon line, fried food is a religion. Fried food for breakfast, fried food for lunch, fried food for dinner. It's just part of the cultural ethos. The more fried food you eat, the shorter your life will be, because you're introducing cancer-causing substances, inflammatory-causing substances into your body all of the time. And that's not a good idea. I know that Dr. Oz told you to drink olive oil, but Dr. Oz is a medical doctor trained in cardiovascular surgery. If you are attempting to understand the meat and potatoes of medical nutrition, no oil in a bottle. That means no salad dressing, no cooking oil, certainly no fried food. I don't even want you to be downwind of fried food. Eliminate them completely. On salads, you can use vinegar, you can use lemon juice, you can use salt and pepper. And now at health food stores, you can find salad dressing which is oil-free. And if you'd like to cook something in a fry pan, no harm, no foul, use butter or lard, not Crisco. Lard is rendered animal fat, rendered goose fat, rendered duck fat, rendered pork fat, rendered beef fat. Like the French, cook with lard, cook with butter, use salt, live long, and prosper.
All right, I see some of y'all on Facebook already losing your minds. Anastasia says, coconut oil and virgin olive oil, I use it in my rice and salad. I don't fry, only steam. It doesn't matter if you fry, steam, whatever. The oil is oxidized. You just saw him explain it. So while it's in that container, in that bottle, there's an air bubble, an air pocket. And as that air sits on top of that oil is being oxidized. And when you fry it, it's even worse. And so because that oil is oxidized, even if it's a healthy oil, it is no longer healthy when it gets into your body because of the oxidization. I always use this as an example when I'm doing my health talks. Because people always say, but they say olive oil is so healthy. So I say, okay, imagine now, let's look at the process to get that olive oil to you. So let's say it's an Italian olive oil, right? They pick the olives, they crush them, they process it, they get the oil extracted, they put it into the bottle, and they box up the bottle, and then they drive to the dock and they load them onto a ship, and then they sail from Italy all the way to the United States. They make it to the United States, and then eventually it's cleared from the dock and it's driven to the warehouse of the wholesaling company. And then Rupert Roberts' buyer calls him a couple of weeks later and says, I'd like to order 50 cases of your fancy Italian olive oil. And so they process the order, they load them onto a truck, they drive them to the dock, and they eventually make it to the Bahamas. And then he goes and his people clears them and they drive them to their warehouse where they sit for up to 3 months. You heard him yourself say, during the early days of the pandemic lockdowns, I don't know why Bahamian people are panicking, because we have up to 3 months worth of food in our warehouse. So that bottle of olive oil could have been sitting in his warehouse for 3 months. Eventually it makes it to the food store. Then you walk in there and you buy that bottle of olive oil thinking you just made a healthy purchase, and you take that home and then you go start using that on your food. How much time do you think passed from the time they picked those olives to the time that bottle made it to your home? All that time, that air is oxidizing that oil. So it's not the healthy oil that it started out as the moment they processed it. Now you get that thing into your body and it's causing all kinds of problem. Inflammation. Inflammation damages the gut. And inflammation causes constricted arteries. And inflammation is bad. So it doesn't matter if you don't fry it, you only steam. You still damaging your body, because the condition of that oil has so deteriorated because of the oxidation process. Get me? So you got to cut it out of your diet altogether. Now, you may say, Michelle, I like fried chicken. I like fried chicken too. And here's how I prepare my fried chicken. I do the same thing you would do. I season my chicken. I do the shaken in the bag thing with the gluten-free flour. And then I use some butter, and I make sure my pan is, I put the butter on the pan to make sure it doesn't stick. And then I put that thing in the oven. And I fry that in the oven on a very high heat, 450 degrees, for 45 minutes. You cannot tell me when that thing comes out of the oven that that is not fried chicken. It's fried, just without oil. Delicious. Same basic consistency, just not with the oil. You do have other options. You heard him talk about butter or lard. If you want to lightly saute something, use butter. Use lard. Just not that cooking oil, because that thing has been sitting with a pocket of air, just constantly oxidizing that thing. And by the time that gets into your body, that is doing some major damage. So you got to cut it out, folks. If you have an air fryer, fantastic. Air fryers are really good to give you that fried food consistency without the oil. I don't own an air fryer, so I oven fry my food. And you cannot, it's not, somebody said, oh, that's baked chicken. No, it's a different consistency than if you bake it on a lower heat. It's really fried. So you just got to make the decision that you're going to just do what you got to do to eliminate these foods. But there's no justifying continuing to consume them. If you do that, especially after the knowledge you're receiving today, then you just made a decision to choose that fried food over your health, because now you know. Ain't no excuse no more. You could say, well, ain't nobody tell me. I telling you now. So if you choose to continue to eat it, that's on you. Now you know why you should avoid fried foods, fried in oil. Okay? If you oven fry, fantastic. If you air fry, fantastic. But once you put that thing in that oil, it's over. And I think Dr. Glidden did a very good job of explaining why. Okay? Let's see. Somebody's asking about cholesterol and butter. You need to go listen to my show, Carolyn. She says, what about the cholesterol and butter? Go on my Facebook. You're on my Facebook page now. Watch my show from last week, Wednesday. I think it was last week, Wednesday, when we addressed, I talked a bit about cholesterol in there, because cholesterol is a result of a blood sugar imbalance. Okay. So you don't have to worry about, listen, I'm not saying that your food should be swimming in butter. No. But if you lightly saute it in butter, that's fine. Now, very important for me to point out, I'm not talking about margarine. Margarine is not butter. Margarine is not even real food. You don't believe me? I'm going to give you a test. I want you to take that stick of margarine out of your fridge and put it on the wall outside and watch to see how many bugs land on that. The flies got more sense than us, because ain't no fly can land on that, because the fly knows that's not real food. It's really a glorified plastic. So you do not want to eat margarine. If you put some butter out there, they'll land on that, because that's real food. So we're not talking about your food swimming in butter. I'm just talking lightly saute in butter or lard, but avoid margarine. Now, very important for me to point out before we go on to the next food. When it says no oils, it also means nothing that contains oil. He talked about salad dressings, right? I'm at the point now, because I got tired of looking in the food store. Maybe I need to go to a health food store, but I couldn't find any salad dressings in the regular food store without oil. So I started making my own. I found some great recipes online that you could make your own salad dressing without oil. Delicious. So that's what I do. But it also means no mayonnaise. Because think about it, mayonnaise is nothing more than oil and eggs. That's what mayonnaise is. So if you're completely eliminating oils from your diet, you have to eliminate mayonnaise, because mayonnaise is made from oil and eggs. I told you they're going to hate me by the end of this show. How am I supposed to make my potato salad? I use sour cream in my potato salad instead of mayonnaise. Tastes just as good. How am I supposed to make my coleslaw? Again, you could use sour cream. You could use plain Greek yogurt. There are options out there. But you should not do mayonnaise, because it's consuming oil. And we now know that oil is damaging your body. Okay? So you want to avoid that at all costs. Bertha says, Michelle, sometimes I use shake and bake. What about that? Well, you need to read the label, because I do believe shake and bake is made from breadcrumbs. So read your labels. If it's made from breadcrumbs, then it has gluten. Okay? Let's see. Let's see, Diane. Let's see what Diane says here. Diane says, when you keep saying to stop eating wheat, barley, rye, and oats, you also need to keep reminding people that today's wheat, barley, rye, and oats are grown differently. Very good point, Diane, than when our grandparents ate them. Yes, this is true. These products are now, they now contain GMOs, because you keep getting new listeners. It seems that most foods today are not real. There you go. That's the big difference. The wheat that they talked, okay, the wheat, say barley or wheat in the days of the Bible, for instance, didn't do damage because that was real food as God designed it. There is a big difference between the genetically modified wheat and the real wheat. Genetically modified wheat, it's smaller. No, it's bigger in size than the real wheat. Looks the same otherwise, but it has been genetically modified. And so therefore, your body's like, what the hell is this? I don't know what this is. It's not real food per se. And so that is why it is more damaging. One of our health coaches, there are some countries that don't allow GMOs, like Israel, for instance. And one of the founders of the Institute of Holistic Health said that whenever he goes to Israel and he eats their grains, he doesn't get any kind of reaction, because it's the real food as it was designed by God. But in the Western Hemisphere, it's pretty much impossible to find these foods that have not been genetically modified. And so that is doing a lot more damage to your body than the real food would. Because, we human beings, we so smart, we smarter than God, we think. So we can improve on his creation, we think. So they tamper in with all these foods. And your body's like, okay, you might be smarter than you think, but I'm still basic in terms of my my makeup, and I cannot process this what you're putting in me. Okay, so thank you so much, Diane, for pointing that out. That's a very, very good point to make. So Donna, you still asking the question? I thought I made it very clear. What if you use local coconut oil? It's oil, right? All oil. Avoid all oil because it is oxidized. It don't matter if it's local or if it come from Italy. If it's sitting in that bottle or that container and there's an air pocket in there, it is being oxidized. Okay? I just used that Italy thing as an example. But as long as that is sitting in that container with air in there, it is being oxidized. So it don't matter if it come from right around the corner or if it come from Italy. Oil is bad. Okay? Point blank. Okay, let's see. Okay. Joseph says, this show is very informative and educational for me, loving it. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Bertha says, boy, I'm stressed out now. No need to be stressed out, Bertha. Knowledge is power, man. You just got to apply the knowledge. Okay, Anton says, making my own salad dressing is the best. Limes, lemons, oranges, or any natural fruit juice. You know what one of my favorite recipes for oil-free salad dressing. I get some maple syrup, some Dijon mustard, and Longevity has one of the departments in Longevity is a company called Saveur, and they sell all kinds of different organic seasonings, and they have a whole line of seasoned or flavored vinegars. Balsamic vinegars. And so I oh my God, they're so good. So I mix my flavored balsamic vinegar with Dijon mustard and maple syrup. That's it. Blend it up. Delicious. There are tons of recipes online. Tons. So you don't have to worry about running out of ideas as far as that is concerned. So yeah, y'all. No oil, no fried food. Sorry. Now, here's another one that's going to surprise a lot of you. And this is all about meat. You should not, if you eat red meat, overcook your red meat. And you should never eat processed meats that have nitrates and nitrites. And here is why. Let's go to the next clip.
You will read research every once in a while that relates directly the consumption of red meat to higher incidences of cancer, especially colon cancer. Well, our argument is it's not the meat. It's what's in the meat or how the meat is cooked. When you cook red meat well done, you cook it through and through, a chemical is created called a heterocyclic amine. And heterocyclic amines cause inflammation and cancer. If you cook red meat rare or medium rare, there are less heterocyclic amines. So cancer-causing substances, it only makes sense, are smart things to stay away from. If you are a meat lover, a meat eater, then cook your meat rare or medium rare. And if you use a grill, wrap it in aluminum foil, because the grill marks on the steak are not only carbon, but they're heterocyclic amines. So avoid that noise and optimize the structure and function of your body moving forward. It's not the meat, it's how it's cooked or what's in it, which leads us to the next thing on the list, meat that has nitrates added as preservatives. Deli ham, deli turkey, bacon, pepperoni, sausage. There are a lot of meats which the butcher injects nitrates into to keep the meat looking nice and red in the deli case. Only problem with nitrates, when they're heated, they turn into a chemical called a nitrosamine, which is carcinogenic. So our recommendation, avoid meat that's been injected with nitrates. This is easier than you think. If you shop at Whole Foods, all the meat that's available in a Whole Foods marketplace is nitrate free. If you have a local butcher, tell your butcher that you have an allergy to nitrates. You don't. But if your butcher thinks you're allergic to it, then he will make sure the meat that he or she sells you will be nitrate free. No nitrates, no cancer, no inflammation. Get it? Got it? Good.
So if you guys watched my show on Friday, you all saw the back and forth between Adrian Francis and I, who Adrian's trying to defend his salty sausage. He says he loves the salty sausage, and I admitted that I eat pig feet. But the big difference between the two is that the pig feet aren't processed. They don't have nitrates and nitrites in them. And as you just heard, and I ain't saying pig feet healthy. I know it's not the best thing because, yeah. But as you just heard, processed meats have nitrates and nitrites. Now, if you go into certain food stores, if you, like, for instance, if you want to eat bacon, and I'm not trying to, push the pork industry today. I'm just using this as an example. Make sure you read the label. If it doesn't say nitrate and nitrite free, then you know it contains nitrates and nitrites, and you want to avoid that. They use the nitrate and nitrite as a preservative to keep it looking red. So you have to read labels. And I mean, you got to be careful because they put gluten in things like hot dogs. You wouldn't expect to see that in a hot dog, but it's there. They hide these things in your foods. So you have to really, the best thing is to avoid it. But if you really, really, really must have, certain deli meats, then make sure that you read the labels or ask the butcher, please give me the meat that has no nitrates and nitrites in it. Okay? That's the best thing to do. Okay, so Shani is asking, I think you meant microwave. She wants to know, what about microwave? Do you cook in it? No, absolutely not. You don't want to be cooking in a microwave, y'all. What microwaves do is microwaves zap all of the nutrients out of your food. You're zapping the nutrients out of your food. So it's nice and hot when it comes out of the microwave, but it's like eating cardboard. Whatever nutrients were in that food, that microwaving process zapped it all out. You definitely don't want to be eating microwave food. Okay? I don't even heat my food in a microwave. I use a toaster oven. Yes, it's going to take 10 minutes instead of 1, but my food still has the nutrients in it that it had when I put it in, as opposed to being zapped of all nutritional value by microwaving it just because you're in a hurry. So no, you should not use a microwave. And I apologize to all of you merchants out there who sell them. It is what it is. I am just bringing the people the knowledge that they need to improve their health. Okay, let's see. Marsha says, so glad you're talking about these things. Marsha, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I really do. And I really hope that this can help to save some lives out there because people suffering unnecessarily. One of the biggest grievances for me is when I come across clients who are going through all manner of illness and suffering, and all they needed to do was clean up their diet and get some nutrients in their bodies. It really has become a pet peeve of mine when I see people suffering unnecessarily, simply because they just don't have the knowledge, or they have it and just don't want to apply it. So, yeah, I'm bringing you the knowledge today, and it's up to you to decide whether you want to apply it or not. That ain't my business. What you do with the knowledge is on you. My job is to bring you the information. So Anton says, where is the best place in Nassau to buy meat without nitrates? Can you get meat without nitrates at the regular food stores? I ain't advertising nobody food store because they ain't sponsoring this show. But I do find, well, first of all, the only meats that I buy, I don't eat very much red meat. But the chicken that I buy from the Gladstone Road Farmers Market. I don't buy in the food store because they don't have nitrates and nitrites, but they have growth hormones and other stuff injected in the chicken in the food store. If it's not organic, it got a bunch of stuff in it. So I buy all of my fresh produce, chicken, other meats are available at the Gladstone Road Farmers Market. So that's where I buy mine. I don't do a lot of red meat. If I do eat red meat, I might get some mutton out there because there are people who sometimes have mutton Justin Taylor has the fresh organic chickens. There's a guy who comes out there periodically who sells the fresh pork. I even see some people out there sometimes doing fish. So that's where I get mine from. But again, I'm not much of a red meat eater, but when I do buy it, it's from one of the local farmers. Okay. So I hope that that answers your question. Okay. Let's see. Shani says humans can have oil. Samuel asking, what? I don't understand the question. Okay. And Grace says, I eat fish mostly. That's good, Grace. Just make sure it's wild caught fish. In other words, caught in the sea, not raised in a farm. Wild caught fish is better than farm raised because, again, the farm raised fish have been pumped up with all kind of stuff to keep it healthy enough to get to you. So you want to go to the dock or wherever you buy your fresh fish from and buy fish that was wild caught in the sea. Okay. Anastasia says, I would like to give this information. Sorry, that was the wrong one. Where did Anastasia's comment go? Oh, things are coming in so fast. They're moving fast. Okay. Anastasia says, I would like to give this information to the Spanish-speaking people I know. Anastasia, send me a private message on my Facebook page, and I will reach out to you because as a health coach, I do health talks, and I do have a Spanish version that I put together for one of my friends who is Spanish-speaking. So we did a whole for Latin America. So send me a message, and I will respond to you there. Okay, we're going to look at one more comment, and then we're going to take a break. Bertha says, what about lamb chops? I baked lamb chops years ago, and when I saw the amount of fat came from that, never ate it again. Well, you can trim the fat, but lamb is actually not bad. It's a good meat. Just trim the fat. That's all. But lamb is a very fatty meat. But understand something. Your body needs fat. You cannot, if you ate a completely fat-free diet, you would make yourself sick. Now, I ain't telling you I'll go crazy eating fat. I'm talking healthy fats, okay? So things like avocados are good because they have a lot of the healthy fats in it, okay? So I just don't want you to vilify fat. Okay, gotta take a break. When we come back, more of the 12 bad foods that you should never, ever, ever, ever eat. Stay with us.
Ocean blue is the best in seafood, hey, hey. Fresh out the water and affordable too, yeah. We got fish, conch, lobster, shrimp, everything you want. Ocean blue got it. Ocean blue, friendly and clean, best service you ever seen. Ocean blue is the best in seafood, hey. Fresh out the water and affordable too, hey. Ocean blue seafood, we are here for you. Ocean blue seafood, no one else will do. Ocean Blue Seafood, located on Burnett Road. Contact us at 393-2160.
Looking for an extraordinary junior high school with caring, qualified staff and affordable tuition? Then come visit us at Elite School of Excellence, an affiliate of First Step Academy. ABECA-focused and Ministry of Education approved, we foster discipline, integrity, and wisdom while molding our students for success. Call us at 341-8846 or stop by First Step Academy Schools on Fire Trail and Soldy Roads for more information. Escape from the city life to Bacon Air Beach Resort in Pirateswell, Mayaguana. Relax in one of 16 air-conditioned rooms just steps away from the ocean. Enjoy scrumptious dishes in our waterfront dining room. Sip on a tropical cocktail, or if you must, stay connected with wireless internet. Nestled on one of the most beautiful beaches in the Bahamas, Bacon Air Beach Resort offers a unique vacation experience. For reservations, call 339-3726 or 463-0182.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Youngevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all: schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
And welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. I am your host, Michelle Malcolm. It's a Wellness Wednesday, so that means that we're talking about health and wellness, and today specifically the 12 bad foods that you should never, ever eat. Ever. Kick them to the curb, people. They're not good. So before we go into our next food, I'm going to answer some of your comments here. Listen, y'all, let me hear your voice, man. Give us a call. 828-3543. 828-3543 is the number to call. 828-2543. 828-2543 is the text line, okay? And of course, you can also put your comments on Facebook. Speaking of which, let's go to a couple of them. Anton is asking, what about conch? Okay, so Anton, you need to understand something. Conch is a bottom feeder. Certain things like conch and things that we consider delicacies like crawfish and lobster, they were actually put in the ocean to keep it clean. Yeah. So just know what you're eating when you eat it. It's not the healthiest thing in the world because it's a bottom feeder. Now, that being said, I just had Scotch conch for lunch yesterday. I love conch. But know what you're eating, it ain't good. It's not the greatest thing in the world because of the fact that if you put a conch in a container that has like really dirty water and you leave that there for a couple of days, when you come back a couple of days later, that water clean. Yeah. So conch is not exactly the best thing in the world to be eaten. I ain't gonna lie. It ain't good for you. But, you know, it is what it is. Okay, so Anastasia is asking, drinking 8 glasses of water, does it clean out your system from all the bad foods eaten? No, it does not. But you should be drinking that water because your body is mostly water, and so you need to keep things moving. And drinking sufficient water keeps things moving in your system. And it also helps to keep you younger. If you drink adequate water, it eliminates wrinkles, and your skin will be, just glowing, and you will feel better. Generally speaking, you will feel better. But if you have had years of bad eating, you may have to do some stuff to actually clean out some of that, okay? So water alone won't do it. Let's see. Okay, Marcia says that we used to buy nitrate-free bacon from the regular supermarkets. It's more expensive, it is, but you just have to look for it. Yeah, just read the labels. Read the labels because, like I said, don't just pick it up and say, oh, nitrate-free, and then you read the back and it has gluten. Let me tell you, the food industry, I'm convinced that they are on a mission to kill us, keep us sick, because they're doing some terrible things to our food. which obviously is impacting our health collectively. So you just have to be willing to educate yourself to get the information that you need to protect your own health. You have to take responsibility for your own health. Okay, I don't know what Shani is saying there. Okay, so let's go to the next clip. The next clip is was surprising for me. When I first heard this, I was like, what? Because I used to think it was good to eat this until I got educated. And that is the skins of a baked potato or yam. The skins of a baked potato. Who knew is not good for you? And here's why.
Next on the list, the skins of baked potatoes, yams, or sweet potatoes. You know when the skins get nice and crispy because they're twice baked or thrice baked, right? Well, the skin of the potato, when it gets crunchy and crispy like that, is loaded by virtue of the heating process with heterocyclic amines. Heterocyclic amines, now you know, cause cancer and inflammation. So if you want to eat a potato, a baked a yam, or a sweet potato that has a crispy crust, crispy skin, don't eat the skin. You can eat the potato part, but not the skin. If you'd like to eat the skin, then you can boil the potato, yam, or sweet potato, or put them in a crock pot. When the skin is crunchy and crispy, you must not eat it. I mean, if you breathed in asbestos every day, it's only a matter of time until you get mesothelioma, right? If you work in a coal mine without a mask, it's only a matter of time until you get black lung. So stop eating food that's gumming up the works. Stop eating food that's hurting you. And you're going to go a long way towards supporting and promoting your body's ability to fix itself.
Me too. Because I used to love, you know, when you go to a particular restaurant in the States and those, what do you call it? The stacked baked potato skins. Man, I used to love that. And I used to go to town eating that, thinking, you know, until I found out and I was like, whoa. And so again, like, you know, like you said, if you're going to bake the potato, just peel it. Get rid of the skin. If you're going to bake it, the potato or the sweet potato or the yam, peel it first. But if you really, because, you know, they say the skin is where all the nutrients are. If you really want it to eat the skin, just boil it. Just don't bake it. You can still eat the skin if it's boiled. But if it's been baked, then you just heard him explain why you want to avoid that, because it causes cancer. And we have to wonder why it is that the Bahamas has such high rates of cancer. I believe a lot of it has to do with the foods that we're eating. I don't think that's the only factor involved, but I do believe that it is a factor. That a lot of these foods that we're eating, not understanding how damaging they are to our bodies, are actually causing our bodies to develop cancer. And so, yeah, folks, you got to peel a potato if you're going to bake it. Do not eat the crispy skin of a baked potato because, as you would have just heard in that clip, causes cancer. I want y'all to please like and share this show. Like and share this show, especially if you have someone who is battling some kind of chronic condition, some non-communicable disease. Please like and share the show. A couple of Wednesdays ago, I had Dr. Joel Wallach on as the guest, and he said something that it just blew my mind. And he was talking about one of the reasons why people of certain ethnic backgrounds are succumbing to COVID more than others is not because of their color, but because of their culture, because we eat so much gluten. And so I say that to say that you have to understand that this is so far-reaching. You know, some people just don't take it seriously, even though they have this knowledge. But this is really far-reaching, and we need to get serious, man. We need to stop joking, stop playing. I have a text that says, Michelle, could you see if you can have a chef come on your show to illustrate how all these nutritional suggestions could actually be implemented into the daily cooking in our country? Well, I mean, all the chef will be able to do in this studio is talk, because there ain't no kitchen set up in here. So unless we get somebody to do come stream from their kitchen, but that might be a little difficult to do with just I don't know, but thanks for your suggestion. I'll have to figure out how to do that. Okay, so our telephone line is 828-3543. 828-3543 is the number to call if you have a question, and the text line is 828-2543. 828-2543. And of course, you can write a comment on our Facebook stream, and we just may put it up on the screen for everyone to see. So somebody is asking about some toaster pastries organic. No, it's gluten. Get it through your mind, people. You can't eat it. Okay? Stop. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. No. If it has gluten, no. So unless it specifically says gluten-free, let me explain something to you. What organic simply means is that it doesn't have pesticides and herbicides. That's all it means. Okay? Because I often get people who say, oh, I can get all of my nutrition from my food. Impossible. Oh, I eat organic. Very good. But all that means is the food doesn't have herbicides and pesticides, but it doesn't mean that it has the nutritional value that you need. Okay, so just wanted to throw that in there. Okay, Terry says, always great info. Ms. Sam, you remind me that margarine is a processed food. It was made illegal when the dairy industry pushed the government to pass the Margarine Act in 1886. The latest study shows butter and cheese do not clog arteries. Butter also burns off faster. Yes, margarine is bad news, people. Very, very bad. Okay, so Bertha says, I don't ever eat potatoes or any other skin. Like I said, you can eat it if it's boiled. Boiled is not bad. It's only when it's baked it becomes a problem. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the next bad food that you should be avoiding. Now, how many of you, when you're eating a meal, you like to have something on the side to wash it down? I noticed that the Bahamians like to do that, right? Oh, I need something to wash it down. Now, honestly, when you're eating, you shouldn't be drinking anything to wash it down, because your stomach is a bag of acid that needs to be effective in order to digest your food properly. And when you drink something, all you're doing is diluting the acid. But if you drink a carbonated drink, it's even worse than just drinking, say, water. You must not drink a carbonated drink just before or during a meal, or even just after. You have to give your body an opportunity to digest the food. And here is why that carbonated drink should not be combined with food, because that is hindering your body's ability to digest your food. Let's go to the clip.
Carbonated beverage with a meal. Why is that, Dr. Glidden? Well, the bubbles in your carbonated beverage. By the way, I don't care if it's beer, champagne, soda water, Perrier, sparkling water, ginger ale, soda pop, anything at all that has bubbles in it. The bubbles are carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide has an interesting property. It reduces acidity. It neutralizes acids. Carbon dioxide neutralizes acids. So when you drink something with bubbles in it during a meal, you're neutralizing the stomach acid in your stomach. And this is not a good idea. In a healthy stomach, your stomach acid should be so strong that if you chopped off a finger and swallowed it, your stomach would digest it down to the bone. Your stomach is a bag of acid. The stronger the acid, the better. But when you drink a carbonated beverage immediately before or during a meal, you impede the digestive process of the stomach by neutralizing the stomach acid. Most people have weak stomach acid anyway, because in order to have strong stomach acid, you must be salting your food liberally. Your body needs the chloride that's in the salt to make strong hydrochloric acid. And you also need calcium in order to have the acid squirted into the stomach from the chief cells in the stomach. chief cells make the hydrochloric acid and they squirt them out into the stomach. If you're calcium deprived, deficient in the trace mineral calcium, the introduction of hydrochloric acid into the stomach will be compromised. Now, most people have been told by their medical doctor to be on a salt-restricted diet, and most people are deficient in calcium. So most people's stomach acid is weak to begin with, and then when you pour a carbonated beverage into the stomach on top of weak acid, it's super weak, and you're not going to digest hardly anything out of your food.
So it is extremely important that you understand that you need to have a very strong, your acid needs to be good and strong in your stomach. And you may say, well, Michelle, doesn't that cause heartburn? Actually, heartburn is a result of weak acid, not strong acid. And, you have to be very careful if you have chronic acid reflux or heartburn, because that's a sign that your stomach is not producing strong enough acid. And nowadays, somebody just sent me some information about this lawsuit that's out there now for Zantac, Nexium. Let me see which all companies are impacted by this lawsuit. Prilosec and Prevacid, all now shown to cause 9 different forms of cancer. So you've been going to the doctor for this heartburn or acid reflux. And what do? They prescribe Zantac or Prilosec or Nexium or Prevacid. I know before I got into this health thing, when I developed acid reflux and went to the doctor, didn't know what it was because it was causing a pain in my chest, and I thought something was wrong with my heart. And she does this test and comes back and says, you have acid reflux. What does she do? Prescribe Nexium. That's what they do. I took it for 3 days, and then I decided to Google side effects. And after I saw that, I said, hell to the no. And I stopped taking that. And I Googled how to become alkaline and switched over my eating habits, and got rid of the acid reflux simply by changing the way I ate. No Nexium, no Zantac, no Prilosec. That causes cancer. That's another show. But it's that kind of thing that really, really gets under my skin. Because as I repeatedly say on this show, what the MD does is they manage your symptoms. So you go in there with acid reflux, and as opposed to trying to figure out what's causing the acid reflux, they give you a pharmaceutical medication to address that symptom. Now we know that their go-to medication for heartburn, indigestion, acid reflux causes 9 different forms of cancer. They actually have this lawsuit going on now where if you believe that you develop cancer because you've been taking that, you could get some money from them. It's crazy. But this is what they've been doing to us for years. People, educate yourself. Don't just take this information lightly in one ear and out the next. No, educate yourself. Protect yourself. Okay, so Bertha says, Michelle, I just told my husband that this morning. I wish he was here to listen to this. He always wanted to be drinking while he eating. That's not a good thing. That is not a good idea. And for the record, those of you on Facebook know that this is streaming live on Facebook. So if you or someone misses a show, you can always go back to the Facebook page and watch it later. That's the beauty of streaming these shows on Facebook. And now, guys, did you add it to my YouTube as well? Because I believe we're going to... okay, so as of tomorrow then? Or, yeah, well, because I added the destination for YouTube, so you can start adding it to the YouTube page as well. So it'll be available on my official YouTube page as well. So yeah, people, you have to not drink the bubbly stuff with a meal. You shouldn't be drinking anything with a meal, but especially not the bubbly stuff. And Dr. Glidden would have done an excellent job in explaining why that is, because you're neutralizing the acid in your stomach, and this is not a good idea. You need to have good, strong acid in the stomach to ensure that you are properly digesting your food. Okay? So I know y'all saying, well, Michelle, all these things you're telling me, what can we eat? And the last half hour of the show, once we get through the last thing that we're going to talk about, the last clip we're going to talk about, I will spend a couple of minutes talking about the foods that are good for you, the foods that you can eat. So I promise it's not going to be all bad news today. But we got to get through the bad stuff first. And why is this important? You need to understand something, people. No amount of nutrition will outdo a poor diet. You cannot out-supplement a poor diet. So if you are not willing to clean up your diet, you could take all of the nutrition in the world and it will not help you. You have to clean up your diet. It's not an option. Okay? And that's why, I thought it was important to do this show today, because it's a two-sided coin. Nutrition is extremely important. Therapeutic nutrition, is very important. But if you eat garbage continuously, then it's not going to do much good for you. Okay? So you have to eliminate these bad foods from your diet. Not cut back, eliminate completely. All right, so we're going to take a quick break. And then when we come back, we are going to look at the final the final two foods on the list. And y'all don't want to miss this next clip, y'all. It's going to blow your mind. So stay with us. This is GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. Got to make room for our sponsors. Got to pay some bills. We'll be back after this.
Located on Carmichael Road, Divine Designs Hair Boutique is a haven for women and men looking for professional beauty services. Our state-of-the-art and contemporary equipment creates a relaxing ambiance for you to enjoy while we cater to you. Need a hairstylist? We cater to all types and textures of hair for care and styling. We even have a barber on duty. Need a nail tech? Our technicians provide a range of nail services, including the latest trends. Unwind in one of our massage chairs while you get your pedicure. With our reasonable rates, friendly staff, and over 20 years of experience, you will be in great hands. Call us at 823-1669 or 698-1025 to schedule your appointment. Want to be pampered? Want to be slayed? Let Divine Designs make your day.
Want to look your best and feel even better? Visit J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa for the ultimate beauty, body, and anti-aging treatments, offering custom colors, haircuts, vegan anti-freeze treatments, silk blowouts, natural and acrylic nails, unisex pedicures, facials, and massages, all waxing services, and microcurrent therapies for anti-aging and body sculpting. J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madeira Street, telephone 326-7863. At the Gladstone Road Farmers Market, we provide you with the freshest produce, eggs, meat, and more. But what you don't see makes a difference too, like the care our farmers put into growing and raising that food for your family, the fewer miles that food travels from the farm to your plate, and the dollars you are keeping in our local community. Our open-air market is every Friday and Saturday. Come visit us, and be sure to look for the GPS-endorsed flyer. COVID-19 has affected all of us, but it won't stop us from serving you with a smile, even under the mask. Gladstone Road Farmers Market, home of fresh.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Youngevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Youngevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
And welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm. I want to send a shout out to all of our sponsors who make the show possible. Thanks, guys, at the Gladstone Road Farmers Market. And special thanks to JD Edwards Salon and Spa, Sonia Lang, for making my hair look so cute today. And also Chevette Williamson Jewelry for the fabulous piece that I'm wearing. Chevette Williamson Jewelry. You can find out more about her jewelry at beatingandcraftgallery.com. I said the wrong thing on Friday past, but beatingandcraftgallery.com. If you go there and want to make a purchase, if you put GPS as the code on checkout, at checkout you will get a discount for whatever you purchase as a reward for being a GPS listener. And of course, thanks to Bahari Bahamas for this beautiful top that I'm wearing today. So thank you to all of my sponsors who make this show possible. Okay, so Marsha Rudon says, I really hope the young adults are listening and ready to take heed. You know, I'm glad you brought that up, Marsha, because it is said that this will be the first generation where parents will be burying their children. Why? Because of a lack of nutrients. Because the foods have been so heavily genetically modified that we're getting nowadays, that our young people aren't getting the nutrition that our grandparents got and we got as kids. The foods just don't have the nutritional value anymore. And a big part of the problem is because of genetic modification. And this is why these next two foods should be taken off of your okay to eat foods list. It should be thrown out of your pantry, get rid of them altogether, because they've been heavily genetically modified. And again, disclaimer, you're not going to like me, but it is what it is. You should rid from your diet soy and corn. Let's go to the clip.
Corn and soy are amongst the most genetically modified, genetically engineered foods available on planet Earth, and they are abundantly, copiously, profusely sprayed with an herbicide called Roundup, the scientific name for which is glyphosate. Recent data released by the World Health Organization, of all places, the World Health Organization, classifies Roundup as a carcinogen, a cancer-causing agent. And research also links directly the use of genetically engineered food, the consumption of genetically engineered corn and genetically engineered soy, with 4 different types of cancer and deaths from high blood pressure, deaths from stroke. Let's look at the numbers. This first chart here shows the incidence of liver and bile duct cancer, The red line, which you'll see going across the chart, is incidence of these types of cancer when Roundup has been applied to corn or soy, whether it was genetically engineered or not. The blue line shows rates of cancer when people have consumed genetically engineered corn and soy. So you can have naturally occurring corn and soy that's had Roundup sprayed on it, and or you can have genetically engineered corn and soy that has or has not had Roundup applied to it. That's what the red and the blue lines signify. The yellow bars, the vertical bars on this chart, are the incidence of the different types of cancer. Now, interestingly, on this chart, you'll see a green bar going across at about a 35-degree angle. That green bar represents the incidence of, in this case, liver and bile duct cancer that we would expect to be happening from historical trends. What we would expect to see happening from historical trends. And this, of course, is juxtaposed to the increased incidence of these types of cancer when people are eating genetically modified corn and soy and or corn and soy that have been sprayed with the herbicide Roundup. You can see in this case, liver and bile duct cancer, a remarkable correlation between the two. Next on the list, kidney cancer. It's a similar list. It's harder to see the trend here, but the trend exists. The incidence of kidney cancer has increased since the introduction here of genetically engineered corn and soy and or the consumption of corn and soy that has been applied, sprayed with Roundup. Bladder cancer. This is an easier trend to see. Bladder cancer here skyrocketing. Bladder cancer, that's not good. So far we have liver cancer, kidney cancer, bladder cancer. That can't be good. Thyroid cancer as well. Now this is interesting because you see the green bar here is the trend. The trend, it's a vertical trend. There wasn't really any increase in the incidence of thyroid cancer. But then we start eating genetically modified corn and soy and or corn and soy that has Roundup sprayed on it. Boom, dramatic rise in thyroid cancer. Deaths from high blood pressure. Deaths from high blood pressure. Another dramatic correlation here. You can see the green bar going across, which is what we would expect from past historical trends. Since genetically engineered corn and soy and Roundup have been applied to these products, a startling increase. And last but not least, deaths from stroke. You can see again a remarkable increase. Now, any one of these increased incidences would be enough to stay away from this stuff, right? But when you put them all together, it makes genetically engineered corn and soy and or corn and soy that's been sprayed with Roundup the biggest, baddest voodoo daddy of them all. Now, in the United States, believe it or not, it's not that easy to discover whether or not your corn or your soy, which is labeled organic, is actually organic. So you have to do your homework. Whole Foods, interestingly enough, has a very good labeling system through which they help you, the consumer, determine whether or not, or the extent to which, the food that you think is organic actually is organic. Unless you grow your vegetables and fruits yourself in the United States, it is virtually impossible to tell whether or not it has in fact been genetically engineered. Moral to this story is just avoid corn and soy unless you know for sure it's not genetically engineered, it's heirloom corn and soy, and absolutely positively it's not been sprayed with the pesticide Roundup. Interestingly enough, this should also extrapolate into corn syrup, which the food industry is putting in just about everything these days.
Sorry, y'all, but yeah. When I first heard this, I was like, my God. Because as Zoe well points out in her comment, corn is the most popular side in the Bahamian diet. Oh, we love up a corn. And he talked about the United States, where it's hard to find. Actually, there's another clip that I'm not playing in the show today about genetically modified foods, grains especially. The fact that the entire Western Hemisphere has been taken captive. And guess who's behind this, y'all? Guess who now owns the agriculture industry when it comes to this? The pharmaceutical companies. Because the pharmaceutical companies have bought out the seed companies. And in many instances, they are putting pressure on farmers and countries to only use their genetically modified seeds. And then, as you would have heard, in addition to it being genetically modified, which is bad enough, now they're talking about spraying with Roundup, which is a carcinogen. And somebody told me the other day that there are still farmers in the Bahamas who are using Roundup. Farmers, if you're listening to me, please Stop using Roundup. It is a carcinogen. It is killing people. So you really want to make sure you go organic, because, like I said, organic doesn't necessarily mean it has all of the nutrients that you need, but at least it doesn't have Roundup and other herbicides and pesticides that are causing cancer. So you want to avoid soy and corn. Now, another problem with soy, especially, is for women. It messes with your estrogen levels. So soy is really, really bad news, guys. You want to avoid soy. And he brought up a very important point to understand, and that is corn syrup. Because corn syrup, it's so hard to find processed foods that don't have corn syrup in them. I'm like, why? Ketchup? Just read labels. Read the labels. Corn syrup. I mean, just about every single thing they're putting into corn syrup. Even processed meats, like hot dogs and corn syrup. Why? So, people, educate yourself. Start becoming a professional label reader. Because they're hiding these things in your foods. Or the food is genetically modified. If it does not specifically say on the packaging non-GMO, then you know it's genetically modified. And genetically modified foods are bad for you. Your body does not know what to do with it. I've been advised that BAMSI started using Monsanto seeds, genetically modified seeds. Please, if that is the case, whoever's listening, who is in charge of BAMSI, in the name of Jesus, stop. You're helping to kill our people. Whoever made that decision in the Ministry of Agriculture, whoever, shame on y'all. We got to stop the madness. Okay? So, yes, Donna. Donna says there are also hidden soy in many products. This is true. You have to read the labels. Okay? Because they're putting it in the foods and it's damaging our bodies. You have to read the labels, people. You have to educate yourself as to what you should and should not be eating. You can't rely on the very people that own the pharmaceutical companies to do right by you as it relates to food, because they make money when you're sick, which I think is so sinister that the pharmaceutical companies have taken over the agriculture industry to the point where they bought out all the seed companies. So even if you are growing your own vegetables, you got to make sure you know where your seed's coming from, because they could be genetically modified seeds. It's so sinister. I believe it's an intentional act to keep us sick. Because if the food that you're eating is genetically modified or doesn't have the nutritional value, and you're eating that and you're not supplementing properly, and this is where companies like Longevity come in, because at least it's making sure that your body gets the nutrients it needs. So if you're not supplementing, you're eating what you think is healthy food, so it's breaking your body down, and then when you get sick, where you got to go? You got to go to the doctor. Who does the doctor deal with? The pharmaceutical companies. It's all a vicious cycle. And you can't tell me it's not intentional. So you have to take responsibility for your own health and decide, no, I'm not playing that game with y'all. Terry says, Monsanto is so insidious. They knew that non-Hodgkin lymphoma was conclusively linked to glyphosate Roundup. What this company did was they genetically modified the plant to be resistant to Roundup, and so only the weeds die. I read the white papers. This company did their best to hide the science. They wicked lords, man. They wicked. They trying to keep you all sick. That's what y'all need to understand. They trying to keep you sick because that's how they make their money. Anyway, I promised y'all that I was going to that I was going to talk about some good foods as well, because I know it's been an hour and 45 minutes of nothing but bad news, and I apologize. But it is what it is. You got to know. Now, I'm going to try something here. I want to share my screen, guys. So let me see. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. Let's see. Let me try something here. Can you see it on the screen? Not yet? Okay. Let me try something else. Let's try this. See if that works. Any luck? What am I doing wrong? I want to share. Oh, I see what I'm doing wrong. Duh. It would help if I clicked share screen. That would help, wouldn't it? Okay. Tell me what you're saying now. Are you seeing the flyer? What am I doing wrong? Give me a second. There it is. Okay. I got it, I think. Yes, it's there now, right? It's there. Okay, I just got to figure out how to make it bigger, but it's there at least. Full screen layout. Okay, there you go. Thank you so much, Marisha. All right, so y'all could see this. Okay, so we're talking about good foods now. The last 14 minutes, I can give you a little hope. So here, if you look to the left of this flyer, these are the foods that you can actually eat that are actually good for your body, that will help your body to rebuild itself. Okay? Eggs, organic eggs that came from a real chicken that was allowed to grow in real time, not force-fed and forced growth hormones and all that kind of garbage, but real chicken. Eggs that come from a real chicken, and you can again find these at the farmer's market, are actually good for you. Preferably soft yolks, not fried. If you have to have them scrambled, just lightly scramble them in butter, but preferably soft yolks so you can poach them or soft boil them. Okay, if you cook them too much, then it affects the consistency of the fat in the egg, and you want the fats to remain intact. Butter we've covered extensively during the show. Butter is actually good. It's not a bad thing. You can eat butter or lard. Salt. Now I know a lot of y'all who have high blood pressure, you've been told that salt is bad. Well, guess what, y'all? If you are consuming sea salt, pink Himalayan salt, the coarse salt that we get from the Family Islands, that's actually good for you because it has minerals. And your body needs minerals. Okay? And you also heard Dr. Glidden talk about the role that salt plays in your digestion. So you need salt. Now, I'm not saying to go buy the table salt and go crazy with that. It should be iodized. But the best, I use the coarse salt that we get from the Family Islands. That's what I use. And you actually can use that salt to make your water more alkaline. Vegetables, fruits and vegetables, preferably organic fruits and vegetables that have not been sprayed with Roundup. Yes, very good for you. Nuts, well, no, I skipped one. Rice and beans is fine. I prefer brown rice over white rice because white rice has been more processed. So I cook brown rice, and you just got to know how to cook it. I just cook it very slowly in a slow cooker, and whatever recipe you use, peas and rice, grab and rice, whatever rice and rice, you can use with brown rice, and it will come out really good if you just know how to cook it. So that's what I do. I use a slow cooker, and my rice is always perfect. Nuts are fine with the exception of peanuts, because peanuts are not really nuts. Peanuts are legumes, and peanuts are loaded with fungus and mold. And once that gets into your system, that does damage to your body. So you want to avoid peanuts, but other nuts are fine. We've covered the red meat already. It should not be well done. It should be rare or medium rare if you are a red meat eater, okay? Not well done. And you want to avoid the processed meats, the meats that have nitrates and nitrites in them. Avoid those. And poultry, fish, and seafood are actually good for you. I'm talking the real poultry that has been allowed to grow in real time as it should be, very good for you. Again, farmers market is a great place to go to get your organic chickens. Fish, wild caught in the sea, not farm raised, seafood caught in the sea. Very, very good for you. Those good foods will actually support your body's ability to heal itself. Now, the good foods are on the good food side for a reason. Don't mess them up by how you prepare it. So don't say, well, you say fish is good and then you go fry it in oil, because then you just took a good thing and made it bad. Okay? So preparation is very important, how you prepare these things, because you could take something good and make it bad, and we don't want to do that. So we now know in detail why we should avoid oil. So listen, like and share this show. And if somebody wasn't able to watch it today, make sure that they watch it later this evening or whenever. It's going to be on the Facebook page. Make sure you get the word out, people, why they should avoid eating these bad foods and why they should eat more of the good foods, because the good foods will actually support your body's ability to heal. Remember that you can never out-supplement a poor diet, ever. So you can't make a decision that you're not going to follow these guidelines and then be surprised when you start having health issues, because the two go hand in hand. If you don't clean up your diet, you're looking for trouble. You're looking for problems with your health. Okay. Equally as important in all of this is nutrients. You have to nutrify the body. And this is where the company that I recommend and I swear by is Longevity. And there are about 19 or 20 other lines, like Good Herbs, for instance, that I could recommend for you. What I will do sometime today, I will post on my Facebook page a link to where you can go to do a health evaluation, because what we do as health coaches is it all starts with a health evaluation for us to understand what your nutritional needs are based on deficiencies that you may be experiencing. Because when you don't get the nutrients, then you start experiencing symptoms, and those symptoms are a great way for us to figure out what deficiencies you're dealing with. So our health evaluation system does that brilliantly. So I'll put the link on the Facebook page again. And if you're interested in learning how to improve your health score, and how to move, away from ill health and closer to optimal health, then that first step is to take that health evaluation, and then we'll take it from there. But I want you to understand that no matter what chronic condition you are battling with, your body is able to heal itself, but it does need the support to do so. And so a major part of that support is ensuring that you're eating good, clean food, and as well as you're nutrifying the body. And then there are other factors as well. You have to get sufficient rest. You have to make sure that you are getting sufficient, good, clean water. You have to not be stressed out all the time. There are many other factors that are involved, and the mindset is most important when you're talking about healing. Your mind has to be right. If you're thinking sick thoughts, if you're thinking I'll never get well, you're going to be right. If you're thinking I'm going to beat this thing, I'm going to, by his stripes I am healed. If you're thinking those positive thoughts, you're going to be right. So it's very important that you get your mind right. All right, so let's look at a couple of your comments. Donna says, sinister and scary. We're gardening for health, and it's as if you're fighting a losing battle. You just have to educate yourself, Donna, and do what you got to do. A lot of people now are growing their own foods, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing, because at least you know what went into it. Just make sure that the seeds that you're using are genetically modified seeds. That's the challenge, to make sure you know where your seeds are coming from. Oswald says, so Michelle, all of this backyard gardening that is being promoted, should we check if the seeds are Yeah, that's what I just said. Yeah, check to make sure that you're not getting genetically modified seeds, because then it's still genetically modified food that is coming up out of the ground. Okay. So Anastasia says organic food is not in Panama supermarket. Then I suggest you order it online. There are many companies that you can order the foods online and have it shipped to you. But you can't, you don't want to be eating food if it's not organic, if you can help it. So grow your own food or shop online. So Anastasia says she lives in Panama and she does not have organic food. The public only has the marketplaces from the country owners, but it's not really easy to go there. So grow your own food, Anastasia. Grow your own food. If you can't find it in the supermarkets, grow your own food, or import what you can import. Okay. So, guys, I want you to understand that again, I'm just bringing the information today, and it's up to you to decide what you're going to do with it. So I have a text that says, Michelle, just look at all the players who are involved in big pharmacy business, biotech, Bill Gates buying up a lot of farmland. Yeah. The farmers in Africa had a problem with Gates sending GMO seeds to them for sale. Our leaders are corrupt, conforming to the WTO. Listen, y'all. This is a vicious cycle. The pharmaceutical companies own the seed companies, which have proliferated the agriculture industry in the entire Western Hemisphere. They're making it real hard. You have to be vigilant. You have to determine, I'm not going out without a fight. So people say, oh, Michelle, it's expensive to eat organic. Oh, it's expensive to eat gluten-free. It is expensive as insulin or diabetes or heart disease or kidney failure or what you call it when you have kidney failure and you got on dialysis. You know how expensive dialysis is? I'd rather pay them a couple dollars up front. I'd rather pay that extra money for that gluten-free flour than have to deal with some condition later on. Had I listened to that doctor, I would have been on Nexium today still, and might have been one of the people now trying to sue to get some money because I developed one of them 9 cancers. Educate yourself, people. Take responsibility for your own health. And my word to pastors and the religious community, stop encouraging your people to eat poorly and then turn it to God talking about divine healing. I know the Lord sitting up there with his arm folded saying, well, how about you stop encouraging these people to eat bad? Not that he can't heal us. Of course he can. But we ain't got the church especially is we got a bunch of sick people. Plenty sick people in the church praying for healing when they directly contributed to the very illness what they asking the Lord to heal them from. All I'm saying is let's take responsibility for our health, people. Okay? God made us stewards over our bodies. We have to take responsibility for this gift of the house that he gave us to live in. For this temple, we have to take responsibility for it. We have to be good stewards of it. Just like how we be good stewards of many other things, we have to be good stewards of our bodies. The healthier you are, the more work you can do for the church. Think about it. It's hard to really fulfill your purpose when you're sick and broke down. The healthier you are, the more work you can do. So my encouragement is that we all take our health into our hands and do what we need to do to live healthier lives. You can be far more effective. Stacey, I lie. Stacey say plenty sick people in the church man week. I lie. It's the truth. We got plenty sick people in the church, all manner of illness, praying for the Lord to heal them when they directly contributed to the conditions they have because they refuse to discipline themselves and eat right because they like it. Oh, Michelle, I have one client tell me one time, child, I can't give up my fried fish. I love fried fish. I said, well, if you like it, let it kill you. But no, it killing you. No, it killing you. All right. Thank you, Marsha. Marsha says, awesome show. I appreciate your support and for being here, Marsha. And final comment for the day, Stacy says, Donna says, info really appreciated. Thank you, Donna. And Oswald says, Amen, Michelle. And look at some of our pastors' body type. Well, I ain't trying to throw shade at nobody. I ain't trying to, but we have to take responsibility for our health, okay? That's all I'm saying. So now you got the information. You can't go to the Lord and say, I didn't know. Ain't nobody tell me. Sorry for being the messenger. Don't shoot me. I just provide the message. All right, guys, my time is gone. It's 1 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining me on this Wellness Wednesday. Tomorrow, child. All I can tell you is don't miss tomorrow. It's going to be hot. That's all I'm going to say for now. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a good afternoon.